What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Weezy. Welcome to Jay Weezy's World. I got the headband on. I've got the headband on, so you know what that means. Your boy's about to put in some work. I'm headed to the gym, and I want to say for everybody watching, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Usually I say it at the end of the video, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Show your boy some love, because you know what? I'm going to give you good content. I'm going to go ahead and interact with you guys. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and follow along with Jay Weezy's World. So, with that being said, it is Monday, International Chest Day. I love driving around the city and seeing all the holiday stuff. We got the Halloween decorations out right now, and super cool to see people engaged. So, but let's check in. It's Monday, October 13th, 10:55 in the morning. I've been up since 6 a.m. running some errands. I've got my liquid IV, lemon lime flavor, sugar free, some Himalayan pink salt for the hydration. Tastes phenomenal, matter of fact. So if you haven't tried it, give it a try. Add a little bit of salt, nice. So headed to the gym, and like I said, it's Monday, International Chest Day. We're doing chest and triceps. And I did something over the weekend, and it's nothing that's nobody else has done, not done before. But I mentioned in my past videos that I like to write everything down in my cell phone. I track everything as far as my schedule, so on. But just over the last few weeks, I'm like, I really want to get something down on paper. So I just went ahead and invested into a wall weekly calendar, and I'm just writing everything down on a personal note. Nothing professional, because I focus so much on work and my job and everything that I need to really do something, kind of just really focus on what I want to do personally, which obviously is the weight loss, what have you. And so, but along with that, you're talking about, I'm writing down my weekly, what days I'm hitting what, as far as what body part, a date night. But I'm also like putting reminders, so like, think of a date night idea by this day, or meal prep this day, or grocery shop this day, just so I can see every day when I wake up kind of what my plan is for the week, check that stuff off, instead of always reaching for my phone. I'm trying to limit my phone interaction as much as I can, just to chill from that, But also I have another notepad, I guess you could say, below it. It's a whiteboard that I wrote down my current weight, and I wrote down my goal weight, just so I can physically see that every day, just to, not that I need additional focus, but I mean, why not? Write down the goals, look at it, it's in my phone, but when I go in my spare room or man cave each day to, get set, what have you, I'm just looking at that. Like I think that physically looking at something and seeing it there is different. I wrote down affirmations, and I write down different affirmations as I go. But so just thought I'd share that with you guys. Also, I know I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm sure you guys can probably appreciate this, or some of you, and for some of you young folks, if you don't now, you will when you get a little bit older, is today's meal prep. So I grocery shopped yesterday, and I always meal prep the day before work, just so it's as fresh as possible. And I am breaking my rule. Usually I do 3 days worth of meal prep, and then I do 3 days again. But with it being a shorter work week, 4 days, excuse me, I'm gonna go ahead and do 4 days, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That way everything is set, and I don't have to worry about it. But what I mean, as far as what I'm getting excited about, is I bought some new cookware. It should be here today. So I got some new pots and pans. And I think that, spend some money, invest in these type of things, right? So the next thing I want to get is, I already juice, but I want to get a nice juicer that just does more volume, what have you. The one I have right now is okay. It does the job for sure, but I knocked out my juicing yesterday, and I was thinking about that, and I've been procrastinating on getting the cookware, because I don't want to get something that's just kind of cheap and I'll have for a little bit. So spent a little bit of money and got a new set. It's supposed to be here this afternoon. Once I get that, wash it, do my meal prep, and get things going. So I'm excited about that. And I think just with you know, as you get a little bit older, you start looking at these things that didn't used to be as important to you that start to become more important. Not necessarily the brand name, but I'm talking about the type of material, how long is it going to last, and so on, because you find yourself just kind of spending the money anyway. So you might as well go ahead and just invest in the money now, or invest in your investment now, rather than having to pay for it later on by buying it multiple times. So taking a different approach as we get back into the gym. I almost feel nervous a little bit. I'm excited, like a kid going to school again. You feel, you know, I haven't been there in a couple weeks, so I'm excited about it, but I really want to see where my strength is. So I think I'm going to take a different approach. And you know, usually I'll hit the incline, hopefully that's free, and kind of pyramid, and you know, start with a lighter weight, then work my way up. But I think what I might do today is just do like a like 3 or 4 sets of kind of the max weight that I can do, where I can get 5 to 8 reps, and you know, kind of see where I'm at, and then with some of my other movements. So gonna get into some incline press, of course gonna get into some flies, whether it's dumbbell flies, and I've really been into getting into the dumbbell flies, and of course free weights, because yeah, you can go ahead and get stronger and stronger and stronger, but if you're not hitting free weights excuse me, if you're not hitting free weights or cables, and it's just all machine, in my opinion, again, I'm not some fitness expert, but you got to get those joints stronger, you got to get those stabilizers stronger. And I feel like ever since I've integrated getting back into dumbbells and not just so much machine heavy, it's really paid dividends in my strength, and I see it and I feel it. And so with getting back in today, just want to see where my, you know, strength is. And I think for the next upcoming weeks, when it comes to back, chest, you know, biceps, you know, upper body, I'm going to really test to kind of see where my strength is, make sure I have proper form, of course, kind of push myself a little bit. And but there's certain things where I'm not going to get too heavy, you know, like, you know, hamstrings or something like that, or you know, just make sure I'm not snapping anything, because I don't want to be out of the gym really for anything else. And so with hurting my knees and then getting sick, it didn't help anybody. So I'm excited to get back in. We'll go ahead and get this workout. I'll see you guys here in just a minute. All right, let's go ahead and get this work in. Chest and triceps are on the menu, and I'm about to eat. So first thing I want to get off is incline barbell bench press. And the goal for today was simple: lower reps, higher weight. I wanted to see what my strength is after having the last 2 weeks off between my knee issue and being sick. Now, I'm not pyramiding. Usually I pyramid, and if you don't know what pyramiding is, if you're new to the gym, is either you could pyramid up, where you are starting with a lower weight and you're increasing your weight with each set, or you're starting off with a higher weight and you pyramid down, where you're decreasing the weight with each set. Today, I'm getting straight into a weight that I feel like I can get at least 3 sets and about 3 to 5 repetitions. And I'm very happy with the strength gains I made over the last few months, because honestly, like having a 25 plate on each side and then building up to a 45, you know, I think everybody's goal is to get to 245 plates on each side when it comes to bench. And I feel like pretty soon I'll be able to do that, whether if it's my max or getting in reps. But main thing for me when it comes to any movement is feeling like I'm controlling the weight. I don't like to just, you know, just bring it down, sling it back up. I really want to make sure I have a controlled descend and a controlled press when I'm coming up. And so if you notice on my last rep, usually what I'll go ahead and do is somewhat pause at the bottom, because I really want to know in my mind, just because it's a mental thing, that I'm controlling the weight. And so I still have it at 185 pounds. That's what I started off with. Don't know if I mentioned that. So 185, and I really felt like the 185 was feeling good, where I could have maybe gotten 1 to 2 more repetitions. I'm going to go ahead and switch up the angle here, and I'm sitting here contemplating, do I add weight? Do I leave it the same? Nah, let me go ahead and add a dime or a 10 on each side. So now I'm working with 205, and what you'll notice here is that sometimes what I'll do is I'll touch my chest where, again, it's kind of a mental thing where I want to make sure my shoulder blades are on the bench properly, my base is set, and then I'm going to go ahead and knock out what I feel like are 3 clean reps with the 205. And honestly, I probably should have asked for a spotter so I could try to get 1 to 2 more out. And I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead with 3 solid sets. Let me move on to the pec deck. Now, again, I'm always going to get in 1 to 2 warm up sets, so I have a lightweight right here. And again, when my goal, because I was just feeling it today. And for all you newcomers to the gym, and trust me, I'm no pro, but when you really start to develop that mind muscle connection, and you know you're controlling the weight, and you can feel it, it's just it's a different thing. So the intensity and the satisfaction is different. And one thing for me with getting into incline dumbbell or incline bench press, or sorry, barbell bench press, and any of these movements, my goal is to work on the upper chest, the outer chest, and then the lower pec, because I really want to go ahead and fill out as I'm losing weight. I want to make sure I fill up my frame as much as possible so I can have the least amount of loose skin as possible. It's not a conversation I usually like to talk about, but it is a reality that that's going to happen because I will get to my goal weight. And for me, the minimum when it comes to chest, because sometimes I go higher volume, I'll get in cables. You guys, if you see my previous videos, I'll usually add a lot more sets and probably 2 or 3 different types of movement. But I just wanted to focus on the basics today, which is, again, upper, outer, and lower chest. Now, with my pec deck flies, I was working with 175. So, in case you're curious on what I went up to today, and then now I'm getting into the decline machine press. Now, with this, again, I'm integrating the decline more and more and more because I feel like it does expose your shoulder a little bit, because I want to make sure I'm reaching back enough where I'm getting a stretch on the chest and then squeezing at the top. So my point is that the more I'm using it, the more I feel less vulnerable. And so I feel really good where I can have 45 plate, 25 plate, and a 10 on each side. And I went ahead and knocked out, again, 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions between the pec deck and the decline bench. Now, moving over to triceps, I can go ahead and fill these things out. I'm going to get started off with 1 warm-up set. I think it was about 15 to 20 reps. I really wanted to pump some blood to kind of get the triceps set and ready to go ahead and increase the weight. Now, obviously, feeling myself here, again, felt really good. Even though I'm a bigger guy, whether if you're big, small, or whatever it is, you got to have confidence in yourself. That's one thing about being in the gym, especially recording yourself. You're leaving yourself up to criticism. Posting it online, you're up to criticism. So for me, I'm a pretty big dude, right? But I'm a pretty big dude. Now I understand that, so I got to show that confidence. So I'm going to get in 3 sets of barbell push down the cambered bar. My goal was, again, 8 to 10 repetitions. How is it at your guys' gym as far as the stacks go? It seems like between each machine or each, I guess you could say, different parts of the gym will have different stacks, right? So on this stack, I'm doing 77.5 pounds. But if I went to another stack, it goes from like 10 to like, I think up to like 90. Like, it's just, the weight is different. It's just funny because, like, I think you really have to understand what stack you're at to understand what kind of weight you can put on. So I hope that makes sense for all of you guys that, are maybe new to the gym and you see different areas. Like, you may not be able to do as much weight on one machine as you do on the other. So just fill it out and see how you're feeling, and make sure you're just giving that muscle some stimulus and giving some blood to it. So, and for me, I really wanted to make sure my form was set. I never want to be one of those guys that go heavy where I can't bring it up, get that full extension on the tricep at the top, and then getting a full extension down at the bottom. And I really, again, wanted to make sure I was squeezing at the bottom, holding the weight, and making sure I was able to handle the weight. No ego lifting, like at all. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it up to overhead rope extensions. And one thing I wanted to show you guys, again, for anybody that's new that may be watching the video, is when I'm coming down, I bring my hands together, and then when I go up, I have my hands flared out. This is going to allow you to get a full rotation on your tricep and really hit that outer head and making sure you're pumping that blood and making some gains on these triceps, because honestly, when it comes to your arms, your triceps are 70% of your arm, and so biceps is 30%. So if you got some big triceps, man, your arms are going to look crazy. So obviously biceps are important, but if you're only hitting biceps, you're leaving out a good portion of what your arm potential could look like. So make sure you guys are hitting those triceps from different angles, not just push downs, add other aspects. And then last, what I'm going to go ahead and do is kind of some cross body cable extensions. I will go ahead and tuck my elbows, you guys will see here. And the reason why I didn't show you guys the other hand is because my back is against the camera, and that's not a good look. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off 3 sets here of 10 to 12 repetitions. I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section about what you guys think about the workout. Peace.